I think it's been terrific to watch just from the outside, and I think it's a really good lesson. I use that a lot with a lot of the under 19 boys that I coach now, and even some of the India A players. Is that I think Virat for me is a great example of a guy who's actually, I think sometimes the impression people get about Virat is he can be a bit brash, or he can be a bit, the impression is he's an extrovert who's a bit of a party animal and likes to go out, likes the nice things in life, and I think what he's really shown is that if you strip away all of that, actually there's a guy who's desperate to succeed, and who's desperate and who's got a great hunger and a desire to do well in all formats of the game, in all conditions. He's willing to work hard for it. He's willing to, I think, understand very, very quickly what his shortcomings were. If I have to look at the 18 and 19-year-old boy that I encountered at RCB, was he the finished product? Obviously not. He wasn't, and you could see that there were some areas which he would need to work on. And the interesting thing with Virat is that when you see him 6 months later, sometimes you don't even have to tell him what the areas are that he needed to work on. You can see he's thinking, he's figuring it out, he's challenging himself, he goes out and improves. He's a better player 6 months later. He might, if he's got particular weaknesses in certain areas and they've created issues for him, he will, when you see him 6 months later, he'll be better at dealing with them. Maybe another year down the line, he's always better. Every time, Virat came back to RCB a year later, or I saw him with the Indian team, every time I saw him 6 months later, whether it was his fitness, whether it was his skills, whether it was the shots that he played, everything seemed to get better and better and better. And for me, that's exactly a great template, like I said, for a lot of, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be, perfect at 19, but you've got to constantly keep getting better and better, and you're going to get asked questions all the time. You've got to answer those questions if you want to have a trajectory which is upwards, like Virat has had. If you want to have a successful career, you want to play all the three formats of the game, and each format of the game will ask you different questions. They will ask you different questions, they will pose different challenges to you. And what's terrific to see is that Virat's actually answered all of those three formats of the game, and he seems to keep answering the questions whenever they're put forward.